Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Queued Up, the review podcast tied to streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, etc., etc., etc. I'm your host, Greg Dietz, and with me always is Maya Don Fisher. How's your week been?
Frustrating. Frustrating week.
You too, huh?
Well, mine's only video game related, so
Oh. What worries I'd love to have right now.
yeah. I mean, mine is the most first world of first world problems that you could ever have. My as you know, and our listeners have probably queued in on, I love to play video games. You love
Get
to
out
play
of town.
video games. We
What?
love video games. Yes, it's a thing. That's a thing with us. I don't know if people are aware, but I've been playing very consistently. Oh, I've put in over 600 hours into this game now. Tales of Symphonia Remastered. And it requires multiple playthroughs. And if you're very, very meticulous and do everything just right, you can 100% the game in about 4 playthroughs. Well, I wasn't so meticulous and I didn't do everything just right, and I'm on my 10th playthrough. Now I can play through the game in 2.5 days. If I can beat the game doing no side quests and straight up doing the storyline and minimal leveling up in 29 hours and 50 some minutes. And that's not rushing, that's just taking my time. One of the last thing I have to do is I have to find every single treasure chest in the game, in every dungeon, every uh, not on the overworld map because there are random chests that don't count towards it, but in areas where you actually have combat, dungeons, puzzles, things like that. You have to find every chest. I've been missing one chest and been racking my brain where to find it. Finally found it. Well, the power went out and I hadn't saved it. And I didn't realize that I didn't save it. And went through my last playthrough, and it was in one of these dungeons that you can't go back to. You only have one shot to get everything in it. There are like 4 or 5 dungeons like that. The rest of them you can go to freely anytime. And it's a very cleverly hidden chest, and I totally forgot that I fucking needed to redo it. And bing, have to play through it again. So, yeah, that's all right. It's kept me busy. Jedi Survivor comes out tomorrow. My copy is on the way. It will be here tomorrow. It is at the FedEx depot, waiting to be delivered. It's just scheduled delivery. They of course didn't give it to me a day early. Unfucking fortunately. Probably wouldn't have been it. I probably could have, installed it, but not been able to play it.
Yeah.
Because they have those fucking blocks on them.
Yeah. You have to download an update and shit like that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, let's see. No. Oh, well, we did find out. I was supposed to have laser hair removal today, but I had to reschedule my appointment for next week. Because yesterday Misty came home and she's like, "We need to reschedule your appointment." I was like, "Wow, what's going on?" She's like, "Got to get the brakes fixed on the car." Apparently, um, just one of the brakes, thankfully, she heard a grinding noise. It just started, and she stopped at a garage and looked, and the passenger side rear tire rear tire, rear brakes. The caliper had gotten fused stuck and worn the brake pads down, and the caliper was actually cutting into the rotor.
Oh shit!
So, got to replace the caliper, the rotor, and the brake pads, of course. And the brake pads will be changed on both sides, but the other rotor was intact. But a new rotor is like $80. Brake pads like $40. A caliper. The tricky thing about a caliper is there's a core charge, so you paid over double price for the caliper, but then when you change the caliper out and you take the old caliper and return it to the auto parts store, you get like $75 back. So it's $230 for the parts for one brake on one wheel. But with the cord charge, they had a coupon, 20% off a purchase of 3 items or more at Napa Auto Parts. Advance didn't have the parts in stock. Napa had all 3 parts in stock. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this coupon. So for $232 for the 3 parts before taxes, after the coupon, it was $200.49. After the core charge, it's only $128. So that's not bad for, a total brake parts replacement. So those parts will be ready for pickup in the morning, and then she's got an appointment to take it to a place to change the brake pads. It'll take about an hour. Since we're providing the parts, it'll probably cost us about $50 at the shop to get it replaced, for 1 hour's worth of labor. So, yeah, ended up costing about $200. But if we hadn't provided the parts, it would have cost us about $300.
Yeah.
Because, they pay they get a discount, but they charge full price for their parts, plus more, because they're going to get a markup. But, yeah. I know how that game works. My parents owned an auto body shop.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, how was your week? What's been going on with you? That was my week.
God. So, I don't know if I talked about it last week at all on the podcast, but people who listen regularly know that my dad has to go through dialysis. What we were doing currently is 3 times a week he would go to a dialysis center and have a certain amount taken out, put back in. It's a whole process. Well, because we're moving, we have to do home dialysis now because I need to be able to take care of him on the road there, and then once we're in Texas, I need to do it at that house, the new place. There are DaVita Centers, which is the company that we go through, that he could go to, but there's more of a convenience in doing it at home. One of the big things about doing it at home is that when he goes to the main centers, they take about 4 to 4.5 liters of blood out. This is a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Considering your body only has 6 to 7.
So he gets real fucking lethargic and real tired. But with the home, we're doing it borderline daily, and it's only like 2.8.
Oh, okay. So half the amount.
So he feels better doing it like that this last week. The problem is that I have to go to those classes basically when I'm not working. So that means I don't get a day off.
Because those classes are about 4 or 5 hours long, right?
6.
6?
We get there at 9, and we're there until about 2:45.
Wow.
Now, a good chunk of that, I would say from about 11 to for about an hour. There's nothing. And then the woman comes in and she hands us this paper, like this printed out part of this giant fucking book. And she wants us to look over that paperwork and then do a quiz. And then she's going to sit with us and then we're going to go over each question. At first, when she gave that book to us on fucking last Thursday, I about had a panic attack. Because I didn't know. Like, I was like, we have to study that whole fucking book? Holy shit, we have a month to learn this? This is too much. But she made it clear that we're just going to do a part of it every single day, and then we're going to go over the multi-choice, which should only take about an hour of the entire process.
Oh, okay.
So, way the fuck better.
Yeah.
But from about 10:30 to 2:30, 2:15, give or take, it's really just monitoring the machine as best I can, which is basically listening for any alarms.
Yeah.
Jotting down certain numbers and things that are important to it every 30 minutes. And as of right now, we're just doing paper because she wants us to understand how to do the paper in case we can't use the iPad that they're going to give us to put all the information in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's like the next week we're getting an iPad.
So the iPad will allow you to have like, now this is an iPad you'll keep and take home with you.
Yes.
So when you are doing the dialysis at home, you input the data and they have basically instant access to the data. And if there's any red flags, they can alert you.
More or less.
Okay.
And but that's basically what I have to learn all of that. Like it's important that I learn all of it. So, it's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with on a daily basis. The problem that I have, the biggest issue that I'm having with this, aside from the fact that I don't have a day off, literally no matter what day of the week it is, from like 8:30 to 3-ish, I'm not home. Period.
Yeah.
Next week, I think next week starting Thursday, like Thursday, I'll get an extra day off because my boss is going on. He has to go pick up his RV. So I think he'll be gone Thursday to Monday, and he's going to have me work those days. But I only have to do half days on Thursday and Monday. So at least the second half of those days, I'll have more time to do something. But
yeah,
that's probably going to be spent packing. So it's just, I won't have any like real significant free time until I get to Texas. And even then, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of unpacking and situating and knowing where stuff is. So like, like, cool. A couple new games come out that I really want to play that are going to take up a lot of time to beat. Well, I guess I'll do that when I fucking have time in Texas.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I mean, that's the thing is like, I'm going to watch the entire playthrough of Jedi Survivor because I don't have a console to play it on. It's not on the Xbox One or the PS4. So I have to wait.
Yeah.
Which is, it is what it is. And then the fucking Tears of the Kingdom, I'll just wait. Like, that the first game was a lot of like, it wasn't really a whole lot of spoilers. It was more like, look at this cool thing you can do in the game.
Yeah.
So I know I'll see a ton of that, but that's a big old whatever. Like, plus I still want to, I'm saving it. But I have, what's the name of that game that I have? Octopath Traveler 2. I'm saving it for the trip.
There you go.
So, but yeah, so with all that in mind, like it's just been, I've done nothing but work or dialysis. And the funniest part about it is I have this picture that I took of my dad sitting next to the machine, right? Because it's a big machine. My dad's like, it's no bigger than a toaster, or not toaster, no bigger than a microwave. And I'm like, whose fucking microwave is that big? Like, that's a huge fucking microwave, sir.
Microwaves in the fucking 70s, maybe.
Oh my god, the way his brain works on that stuff is so fucking stupid. Oh, I mean, he pissed me off this morning because I was sort of complaining again that Oh, sorry. Oh, I was complaining again this morning that like I don't have any time off, and I could tell his thought process was churning, and I'm like, okay, what is he thinking? And I the second he started saying what he wanted to say, I knew what he was thinking, and it was, how do I say this without it coming across as like the thing that Greg hates?
Yeah.
And what he had asked, or not asked, but what he had said was that basically like his generation, like when he was, you know, my age, he didn't have any days off either because he was working like 2-3 jobs to just make money for us and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, a couple things about that. First and foremost, I don't know who the fuck told your generation that work until you die was how you live your life. That's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the other part to this that is important to keep in mind, Dad, is that I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to be a father and you suffered the consequences of it and did what was right responsibly. I have 2 elderly parents who are disabled. That's it. And I didn't ask for it. Not trying to be a dick, but I didn't ask for it. No, you're right. And I'm like, so don't fucking make that comparison. Like, it immediately pissed me off. But I knew what he was thinking because I knew he was trying to say without pissing me off. And I was like, no, there's no way to say that shit. You start generational fucking bullshit. Like, my generation about that. I don't care. I fully do not care. Like, I've talked this with you about it. Like,
oh yeah.
If you start a conversation with me that is back in my day or kids these days,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ignore you. It's full on.
You know, back in my day, I never encountered that. When I do it, though, I do it just to get a chuckle out of you. I don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's all. That's evident. No, I just hate it. You know, like you know, I think the joke I immediately said to my dad was, well, yeah, back in your day, people didn't understand how bad concussions were. The fuck is your point? And he just started laughing. And I was like, I'm glad you're laughing because that was barely a joke. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the other thing that's really bothersome right now about these dialysis classes is that the main woman that's instructing us going through the test, she has a really thick Tagalog accent or Filipino accent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not super thick, but thick enough to where I can tell what she's doing. She's thinking of what she wants to say in her head in Tagalog and then translating it and then saying it.
Oh.
Because she'll have these long pauses where she's trying to find the right word in English.
Yeah.
This is troublesome, you know, for trying to learn an entire medical fucking procedure.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
The other thing that just like today was real. I was like on the edge, man. So the woman that's been walking us through a lot of the stuff in general, her name is Amy. And she's been awesome. She's like, you do this, you do that, and you know, you kind of go over here and you make sure that those are clamped. Okay, that's good. You know, that's how she's handling it. It's great. I fucking love Amy. And then she's off. She was off today. So we had Barbara or Barb and Susan. Susan's coming in and I'm getting it ready. Like, I'm remembering what most I have to do in the beginning and I'm getting it ready as best I can. And one of the things is there's a tube that goes into your bag of
holding.
It's a cleaning agent essentially before like your blood. What the fuck is it called? Saline.
Oh, okay.
You have to put your bag of saline up and then put this cartridge. And the cartridge has all your tubing and your filter and all that kind of stuff. And you put the cartridge into the machine and then close it. And you want to make sure that all the tubing is on the outside and none of it has touched the floor because of, you know, cross-contamination and that shit. yesterday when I did it, I pulled the fucking bag out and I stretch it across to make sure that nothing's tangled. Today I do the same fucking thing and it got more tangled than a fucking old house phone cord.
Oh shit.
I was so like, how the fuck? But like Susan hasn't watched me do it. She didn't see the other 3 days where I did it and didn't get it tangled. But today she sees it and she's like, oh, this is clearly his first day. I need to tell him and teach him like he's never fucking seen this thing before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are fucking 4 foot nothing and I can hurt you. And she did that all fucking day with everything.
Not that we advocate, you actually hurting a tiny woman.
No, God, no. Frustrated enough, maybe, but no, not. No, I'm joking. One of the things about dialysis is that there is a bag of essentially cleaning water, like clean, fucking purified water, that has to go through the system to help clean the blood that gets then put back into the body. This bag is just called a solvent, and it's 50 liters is how much the bag weighs when it's full. My dad uses all 50 liters because he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Right. Smaller people will use half that bag, maybe a quarter of that bag, or not a quarter, but a third of that bag. So on the quiz, it said, how often does the solvent bag need to be replaced? I said, every day. Every time before you do the dialysis thing. This was the incorrect answer. Because the correct answer was every other session.
But your dad requires every day because of how large he is.
Now that's fine. Because technically my dad and I are correct. And all she had to say was, you're both correct, but that's based on your dad, not based on other people. That's it. That's as far as that needed to go.
Yeah.
Your dad uses 50 liters. The bag is 50 liters. Cool. Let's move on to the next question. Nope. She had to go on a fucking anecdote about how other people use less and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, why do I need to know? What is the point of me knowing that? Like, I'm not fucking helping those people. I'm helping my dad.
Yeah.
Also, you would have thought I fucking told them to fuck off and die by the way that they act when I tell them I'm not going to be there for the days I have to work. What? Why? Because I'm not getting paid to take care of my father. Do you guys want to help me do that? Oh, man. Irritated. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, today was a bit frustrating because old people. But like my dad goes, oh, I don't envy you. I have to go there tomorrow. And I'm like, I have to go hang out with Steve. What do you mean that I'm lucky?
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather hang out with Steve than Susan. And I'm like, boy, it is stuffing your face in a toilet full of fucking diarrhea versus getting kicked in the balls by the entire squad of the fucking 49ers. I don't think either's good. Anyway.
You can wash your face.
Still could get fucking pink eye. And that's going to last a while. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, it's
about the potential ruptured testicles, and
it's just not fun, man. Like this is going to be fucking like 4 or 5 weeks of this, and I'm not having a good week 1 down, yay, but
yeah, but that's not the majority down. It's the minimum.
Yeah, it was funny. Barb, the one that was kind of replacing Amy today for somewhat of it. Like I did quite a bit of what I had to do, and she was just like, "Wow, impressive! Like how long have you guys been doing this?" And I said, "This day is my 5th day. It's my dad's 6th." And she goes, "And you're already up to this point? Damn!" So that told me that we're faster than other people. But
yeah,
Anyway, but that's been my week. It's been dialysis or work, and both fucking suck. So Greg's a happy camper. At some point during this week, I don't remember when I messaged you, Maya, but I saw a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'm very excited for. And when I saw that trailer, it said the first movie to start off your summer. And my brain immediately went, fuck, the summer movie wager. I forgot to get it ready 2 weeks ago, which would have been much nicer for timescale. But
yeah, that's when we normally do it, about 2 weeks ahead of time. But with everything that's been going on, you've had a lot on your plate. Yeah, and it completely slipped my mind, or I could have reminded you of it sooner.
Yeah. Well, I got it ready pretty quick. Like I said, there's a good chunk of time in dialysis class that I just sit there. I'm just on my phone. So that's when I was getting it ready. So I sent Maya the copy. I think very briefly we're going to go over the list. I'm going to go over the rules and the list of movies coming out. This list will also be available to the public shortly after recording this. I'll put it on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram, we'll have to go to a separate link, but whatever. So, if you don't remember the rules to the summer movie wager, it goes as such. Hold on, let me fix this because I just copy and paste it from 2000 from last year. Okay, so welcome to the summer movie wager. Let me break down the rules. Let me break down the rule. God damn it. Break down the rules. Sorry, guys, this is real time. So, what you'll do is with the entire list of films coming out from the beginning of May to the end of August, you will pick your 10 films that you think will make the top 10. You will put them in sequential order. So the movie you think is going to be number 1, number 2, so on and so forth. You will pick 3 films that did not make your top 10 that you'll put in your dark horses. I'll get to the scoring of everything here in a minute.
Now, by top 10, this is opening weekend grosses for domestic box office only.
Yes, so only films that were released in the USA and made money in the USA, and only the first 3 to 5 days that they were out in theaters. So, like, for example, Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible movie. There's a couple things you have to take into consideration with that movie. So it's coming to streaming day 1, but also it's going to be in theaters. But also, it's going to be in theaters 2 days earlier than other films that come out alongside it. So instead of coming out on the 14th, but again, even though it has 5 theaters for it to make money for this game, it's also going to go streaming. So you have to take all that into consideration when placing it in your list.
I'm glad you mentioned that because now I'm moving it.
We'll also go over our own personal list here in a minute. So the way the scoring works. Oh, by the way, if you want to play along, and every year we've done this, this year will be no different. Submit any of your lists to our social media pages or email us at allqueueduppodcast@gmail.com. We will compile the lists. We will keep them on file until the day that I have to score them. If you can beat both Maya and I,
well, it's not that you beat us. Top user submitted score. We'll say user submitted score.
Yes, there's because what I was going to say, Maya, was that if you're the top scorer overall, you win a prize, right, of a certain amount of money. If you are that number 1 person and beat Maya and I, you get something extra. We'll figure that out. Or not. I don't know. We haven't really discussed it too much, but
we haven't discussed it at all.
No, we haven't. There is a prize regardless for winning. So, and we'll figure out that winner as time goes on. So, Just keep that in mind. It's not just for bragging rights. You actually get something at the end of the day. Anyway, so the scoring works like this. If you get number 1 and number 10 dead on, that's 13 points. If you get any of the correct spots between 2 and 9, that is 10 points. If there's any that are 1 away, so let's say you put a movie at 3, but it hit 2 or 4, you get 7 points. If it is 2 away from the spot it actually landed on, that's 5 points. If it's on your list, but nowhere near where you put it, that's 3 points. And then if your dark horses make the top 10, that is 1 point. And dark horses are good primarily to break ties. Keep in mind, points are awarded to best possible score. So no combined total. So you're not getting 10 and 13 for 1 and 10. You're just getting 13. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I was going to say, 2 people have the same top 10, but and they got the same score, but they're dark horses. How would that work as a tiebreaker?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Say 2 people submit their lists and they have the exact same top 10. So they've got the exact same score. How did the dark horses determine that tiebreaker?
They don't. Those 2 people get a tie, and I've never had a moment where that tie is a thing. So I've never had to think of a tiebreaker in that instance. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen this year with the fucking select movies we have.
Oh, no, I don't think it's going to happen either. I was going to suggest then, out of the dark horses, whoever has the combined total of the opening weekend gross of the dark horses, whoever's higher total, maybe.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good fucking great idea.
Okay. Not that it'll come into play, I don't think, at all.
I mean, there is the off chance that, somebody, 2 people have the exact same score. That's happened before. So, and if that happens with the top 2, we'll go with what you said. The dark horse thing.
Okay.
I think that is an excellent idea for a tiebreaker. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna run down every movie coming out this summer. It's gonna be brief, but like I said, after done recording this, I'm gonna post it onto our social medias. That way you can look at the list yourself. It'll be on a Google Doc. And then just email us your list, or message Maya personally, message me personally. Either any way you can get Maya and I your list, that's how you do it. All right, so May 5th, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Love Again. May 12th, we have The Book Club, The Next Chapter, Fool's Paradise, Knights of the Zodiac, and Starling Girl. May 19th, Fast X and Master Gardener. May 26th, The Little Mermaid, About My Father, Kandahar, The Machine, and You Hurt My Feelings. June 2nd, Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and The Boogeyman. June 9th, Transformers Rise of the Beasts and Strays. June 16th, The Flash, Elemental, Asteroid City, and The Blackening. May 23rd, No Hard Feelings.
You mean June 23rd?
What'd I say?
May.
Sorry, June 23rd, No Hard Feelings. June 30th, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, and Harold the Purple Crayon. Poor Harold coming out Indiana Jones. July 7th, Insidious The Red Door. I think that's the 5th film in the franchise. Anyway, Joyride and Biosphere. Biosphere looks hilarious. July 14th, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Theater Camp. July 21st, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Cobweb. July 28th, Haunted Mansion, Symphony for the Devil. August 4th, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, The Meg 2, The Trench, or just Meg 2, The Trench, and Dreamin' Wild. August 11th, Gran Turismo and The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Or Demeter. I'm not sure how they're going to pronounce that. I would assume like the god.
Yeah.
August 18th, Blue Beetle, Whitebird, Please Don't Destroy, and The Hill. So that's every substantial film. Now you'll notice there are a lot of movies coming to Netflix and Paramount and HBO Max that are not on this list. And the reason they're not is because they don't have a box office. They're not going to be in theaters. Or if they are, it's very select theaters and does not count. It has to be completely nationwide open release. So, with that being said and out of the way, why don't we get to our personal list, Maya?
All right. Well, I think the number one movie opening weekend for the summer is going to go to Transformers.
Fascinating. I did not put that on my list. I mean, Transformers is on my list, but it's not number one.
I think it's going to be number one.
Fascinating.
I hope I'm wrong. Well, wait, no, I hope I'm right, but I hope I'm wrong. But I don't know, man. I watched that new trailer today. And
I watched it yet.
Oh, shit. Honestly, it looks like it's going to be the best live-action Transformers movie that there's ever been.
I don't disagree with you, considering Michael Bay is not on it anymore.
True.
But I think that when it comes to Transformers and the buzz around it is not that high. Maybe it'll increase the closer the movie gets to release, but people aren't super hyped about it as much as they are other films. Like, there are some, like my number one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
That's my number two.
Because I think it's going to be there only due to the fact that, A, it's the only Marvel movie in the MCU. I should clarify that because there's another technically Marvel movie. It's the only MCU movie coming out this summer. And the next thing that we get within Marvel is The Marvels, which comes out in November.
Mm-hmm.
People fucking love the Guardians. In general. And even though there's been a ton of people to be like, oh, the MCU is mid now and blah, blah, blah. I don't think that number's that big. Here's the thing. When it came to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, there was so much negativity towards the movie coming out, but it still made $8 million domestically. And that to me, and people are not that in love with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, people like the characters, but Jesus Christ, they're not that big into it.
How much that big? See what you did there. How much did it make domestically?
Last I saw, it was $800 million.
Wow.
Which tells me that people are still
making over $750 million domestically.
Yeah. And that was just the third. Yeah. Well, that was his entire stint in the box office, you know.
Yeah, but still, that's really fucking good.
My bad. It was $800 million globally, $474 million domestically. That's still huge.
Still $500 million fucking dollars domestically.
Yeah, that's still a lot of fucking
Ant-Man.
money. For Ant-Man, right? Exactly. Here's the thing: Guardians are way more beloved than Ant-Man by a fucking country mile.
I agree.
At least I should clarify James Gunn's Guardians. And I think people are ready. Maybe they're not ready for the send-off, but they're definitely prepared for a send-off. They know this is going to be the last Guardians movie. James Gunn has said this 1,000 fucking times. I think people know that if they miss this, it's going to be a cultural milestone. So I don't think 2 is wrong, but I really think it's going to be number one.
What's your number 2?
I'm a little regretful on this, but The Flash.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my number 3.
Okay. You just put fucking Transformers higher than I did by a lot. The Flash is going to be up there because it is technically still within the Snyderverse.
And it's Michael Keaton's Batman, which is beloved.
Right. I think you're going to see a lot of backlash because it's still Ezra Miller and, fuck that guy. But I think you're going to get a lot of people that are going to be like, well, he's trying to make himself better. He's trying to fix himself. And that's admirable.
Themselves.
Did I say him?
Yeah.
Sorry. Trying to fix themselves. I thought I said them. I don't. And I think you're going to have a lot of people knowing that this is resetting the universe into what James Gunn is building. Because you have a lot of the comic people that are like, oh, this is Flashpoint. This is a different version of Flashpoint. So it's a big old reset button. I think people know that. I don't know if that's your reasoning for putting it number 3, but
there's a lot of hype about it, a lot of buzz about it, and I watched the trailer for it yesterday, and I'm like, damn, I want to watch that.
It does look good. It does look very good. What's your well, your number 3 is Flash, so my number 3 is The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Look, these live action adaptations make a fuck ton of money.
They do.
So and especially due to the fact that, like, have you seen that poster with all the mermaids in it?
No.
King Triton needs to put his Triton away. Like, he needs to calm the fuck down.
Oh, yeah, how she's got like 8 or 9 sisters or some shit in the background with her.
Mm-hmm. They're all different, like, ethnicities too. It's like the rainbow of ethnicities. Not that I think that's a problem in it because it's fucking mermaids. Who cares? But what I think is really funny is that, like, is King Triton just fucking anybody? Because it's Harvey Bardem, so I kind of get it. I think that's who's playing King Triton. I got that wrong. Hang on.
I've never seen The Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
Once by accident?
Nope, not ever.
It is Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem. Oh boy. Anyway, but kids movies do fucking great in the theater during the summer, so there's that.
Yeah.
What's your number 4?
Indiana Jones.
Okay, that was my number 5.
Okay, what's your number 4?
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I put that at 4 because I think that when the movie first came out, it had a lot of like, man, it's not part of the MCU. I don't really want to see that. But since it's been on like streaming services, it's been out for a while, people really fucking love it. Like it's rated as like one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie, period, hands down. I think people are more amped for the sequel because of how good the first one was.
It's in my top 10, but I didn't put it that high.
Okay. What's your number 5? Because I said that mine was Indiana Jones.
Fast X.
Okay. That's in my top 10, but not there.
I think I put it too high.
You might not have. I mean, it's been marketed as the last Fast and the Furious movie, at least with this particular group of people. There's a big send-off for Paul Walker. Like there's a lot going for this movie. So you might not be wrong. I might be way the fuck off. But
what's your number 5?
Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. That's right. You said that.
Yep. I think that Indiana Jones, like, this is number 5, and number 4 was not received well, so people are probably really apprehensive. But it is Harrison Ford coming back on his last adventures Indy. So
Yeah, he has gone on record to say this is my last time putting on this hat.
yep. So I think people are ready. I think people want to see it. That's why I think it'll be right in the middle of the top 10.
My number 6.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid.
Okay. You put that about a little bit lower than I did.
Yeah.
My number 6 is also an animated movie, sort of. Yours is animated, but not entirely. Anyway, mine's TMNT Meet Mayhem.
Okay.
I think that with it being a kids movie,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be and like it came out the week that it comes out. There's not a whole lot with it.
Let's see. It comes out August 4th. So it's got Meg 2 and Dreamin' Wild up against it.
Yeah. And then the weeks before that are also
Haunted Mansion and Sympathy for the Devil. So,
yeah. I think people have seen Barbie and Oppenheimer before TMNT comes out. And they're just like, let's do one for the kids.
Yeah.
But where's my list? There it is. You already said your number 6. Yours was Little Mermaid. What's your 7?
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I think it's going to do well, but I don't think it's going to be top 5 well.
Okay. Maybe I'm hopeful that it'll be top 5. But yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense to put it there. It really does, I think for the exact same reasons that I put it at my 4, you put it at 7, It was the original wasn't as popular on release and yada yada, so I get it. My number 7 is Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Okay.
I think it's going to do really well.
I think it is, but I think it's going to do huge. I really do. There's a lot of Beast Wars fans that have been salivating over this movie. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to do good.
Yeah.
My number 8's TMNT.
Okay. I don't know. I've just been seeing like a lot of like positivity towards the Turtles lately, so I was like a little bit higher. Like people have been, they shit on Rise of the TMNT, and then after it went to Netflix, they were like, "Oh shit, this show's actually good." So I think people are ready for some new Turtles. Plus, who the fuck doesn't want to hear these classic 80s villains from the cartoon being voiced by these people? Like, I'm dying to hear fucking Seth Rogen and John Cena as Bebop and Rocksteady. That's going to be fucking hilarious to me. So, what's your number 9?
Barbie.
That is also my number 9. Oh, I didn't say my number 8. My number 8 is Blue Beetle.
Oh, okay. That's one of my dark horses.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I skipped over my number 8. Yeah, Blue Beetle. I think it's going to do well in the context that it is. It almost feels like a standalone superhero movie. Like,
yeah.
Whether it makes it into James Gunn's plans or not doesn't matter. And it's. I think a lot of comic book accurate people are going to be like, "Holy shit, this costume's amazing! It's fucking comic book accurate." But yeah, Barbie. Barbie's going to be fucking hilarious, but it is rated R, right?
I don't know.
Let me double check that. I believe it is. And rated R movies don't do super well in the theater. It has not been rated. I thought they said they were going for an R rating. Huh. Son of a bitch. Oh, there's estimated amounts that people think it's going to make on IMDb. That's funny. Well, if you're making your list, scroll down to the bottom. You might see something that we didn't see. Number 10 is Fast X. That's my number 10.
I've got Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I think it's going to squeak into the top 10.
I didn't put Oppenheimer on my list at all.
Well, like Elvis surprised us last year.
That's true.
I think this is going to be a sleeper.
Fair enough. What's your dark horses?
Blue Beetle, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and Insidious: Red Door.
Okay. My dark horses are Elemental, the new Pixar jam.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo. I think closer to release of that movie, we're going to get a full trailer, and people are going to be all about the cast of that. Plus, you got the gamers going like, how the fuck are they making a movie off of Gran Turismo? So, but I just, I don't think it'll make top 10. So, but it could. Totally could.
I totally forgot about Elemental.
And Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I think Mission Impossible had the chance to making the top 10 had they not made it streamable on Paramount day one.
Yeah, I agree. I had it at my number 9, but when you said it was that, I was like, ooh, it's not going to do as well then. I'm going to put Barbie at number 9 because I had Barbie as a dark horse.
That's fair. What if we're so completely surprised and it fucking makes the top 10? Man, that'd be wild.
Yeah. Just be worth a fucking point then.
All right. Well, that's going to sum it up on that. Maya, just send me your list and I'll put it on my thing over here.
All right. I'll straighten it up because it's a couple of them are out of order where I flipped it around a little bit, but I'll straighten it up and send it to you. Give me just a second.
But yeah, so if you want to join in that, there's a prize if you can make if you can get the being the top player, top scorer, whatever. And yeah, just send those to our email, allqueueduppodcast@gmail.com, or privately message us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I was like, what's the other fucking social media site? Just send your list any way you can, and we'll add it in there. And I think next week we'll read off the lists, or we'll read off at least who sent us their lists. We won't read off the list because that's whatever. But you have to submit them. Here's the key, guys. Since we didn't do this earlier, you only have a week to submit them. We'll make that as crystal clear on the social medias as we can. You only have a week to submit them. The reason is that after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 hits theaters, you cannot submit anything after that. Because you could technically cheat. Let's say, the opening weekend for Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. You know how much it made. So your list is now compromised because you know something.
Yeah, it's got to be sent in by what? The Guardians comes out what day again?
5th. So May 4th is your deadline.
Midnight of May 4th, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
That gives you exactly from today.
Gives you 6 days.
6 days. A whole week. I mean, whatever. So, give or take. Doesn't matter.
It's more time than I had to work on the list, so.
It's true. That's accurate.
Greg gave me the list yesterday.
Yeah. That's again, my bad because I just so much going on. So.
It happens.
Well, we're going to get to our reviews, get through those as quickly as we can. And then we'll talk about next week because we're going to have 2 things next week that one thing is a continuation, but the other thing I don't think you remembered about Maya. So we'll see. The first thing we're going to review really quickly is Quasi, which is the new movie by Broken Lizard on Hulu. No.
Yeah,
no.
Just don't.
It's not funny.
No, not at all.
There's a lot of times where they go to make a joke. They don't make the joke. And then later, when the joke has been made, they keep reiterating the joke as if it's something that we needed to understand.
Yeah.
It's very strange. A lot of missed opportunities and a lot of you've overstayed your welcome. It's bizarre in that. Or like the joke is so fucking easy that it's the kind of joke you make with your friends online and everyone has a quick chuckle, but they present that joke in this show or this movie like it is the best joke that has ever been told. It at times feels insulting.
Yeah. Yeah. I messaged Greg when I was watching it. I was like, dude, this is a hard watch. And he's like, well, it's been a while since we ripped into something. And I was like, we're not saying we enjoy ripping into anything. This is just so bad. Don't waste your time with it. Just rewatch Super Troopers.
Yeah, it's a weird fall from Get Grace for Broken Lizard. Because honestly, the best that they've had was Super Troopers 1 and 2 and Beer Fest. That's it. Like, what was the other one you were talking about they made?
Club Dread was decent. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't horrible.
Club Dread was them?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't watched that one, so I couldn't qualify that one, but
let's see. They also did Puddle Cruiser, which was their first movie they made when they were all in college together in '96. It's not good. They directed The Dukes of Hazzard, and each of them had cameos in that movie, which was fun. The Slammin' Salmon they made with Michael Clark Duncan, and it was bad. But Quasi is worse than the Slammin' Salmon.
Yeah, I remember Slammin' Salmon being fucking terrible. But yeah, it was so weird. Like, you have a group of comedians. And I've never seen a movie with a group of comedians that was just like, I've seen some bad comedies. I really have. But none as bizarre as this one. Like, yeah. There was a great moment in the movie where the Pope is walking into the torture chamber. And it was reiterated earlier that the place stunk, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so there's going to be a joke here. No, there fucking wasn't. He walks in, he complains about the stink for like a second, and then walks in. He could have said it stinks like and had a joke. No, the joke was that it stank. And I'm like, that's not fucking funny. There's nothing there that's comedy worthy. It was so fucking... They did that through the whole movie. It was so weird. Like, the funniest bit, the absolute funniest bit in this movie, the only part that I actually had an audible chuckle at, which might surprise you, Maya, but genuinely speaking, audible chuckle. So the Pope and the King do not get along. There's a whole history that you missed because you didn't watch the last little bit because it was too much. They don't get along. They are trying to get Quasi to kill the other one, right? That's the plot of the movie.
Yep.
And there's a moment where they're each talking to their own like right-hand man to go and find Quasimodo and kill him, or just capture him, or something to that effect. And when this scene happens, and they're like whispering to the other guy, none of it's funny. The two guys leave, and then the Pope and the King start communicating to one another about, we can only keep this between ourselves. They look over and they see a knight or a guard standing there, and they're like, we should probably we should probably have
kill him.
Guard, come in, kill him. That's like, why would I kill him? I've known him since I was a child. Like, he's like my best friend. Okay, well, if that's the case, third guard, come in and kill these two. And he was like, oh, here we go, and stabs his friend. That, oh, here we go, was fucking hilarious. Like, genuinely.
Yeah, it was his brother-in-law, actually.
Brother-in-law, that's what it was. But the
brother-in-law.
The immediate turn and like, oh, here we go, and stabs him. That was funny.
That was genuinely the only thing that I found funny, but I didn't get an audible chuckle. I was like, yeah, I'd stab him too, I guess.
Well, I mean, by that point, most people are going to be fucking annoyed by what's happening in this movie because it's just not funny. I don't know. It's so bizarre because there was so much potential. I think is why it was bizarre to me.
Well, there's not much to say about it.
No. What's your final grade?
F. It's an F. It's a failure.
Mine's D minus.
Like, I don't think one chuckle saves it.
This D minus is a failing grade.
Well, it essentially should be, yeah.
Yeah, C minus is passing, barely, but D minus is like you tried. I could see the effort, but none of it worked.
Yeah,
D minus
is bad.
It's very bad.
Don't waste your time. It's an hour and 40 minutes of your life you won't get back.
However, there's an excellent thing that you should watch, and that's our next review, which is episode 4 of Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah, episode titled Susan, which was odd. This episode we didn't get a flash forward like we have in the previous 3, which was unexpected. But quick rundown here. We see Frankie and Nikki, the mobsters that are always hanging out around Susie's office. They pressure Susie to have Midge perform in an industrial musical their boss is producing, promising that it will fully repay them for previously helping Susie. Midge rebuffs Gordon Ford's romantic advances. Abe and Rose attend a new play, after which Abe raves about and overanalyzes the plot, while Rose believes it's merely a simple story. The playwright, Abe's Village Voice colleagues, and Abe's Village Voice colleagues concur with Rose, temporarily creating a rift between the couple. Midge's performance as an elaborate waste management skid and industrial show is a hit. That was fucking funny as hell.
Yeah.
Let's see. Meanwhile, Gordon refuses to allow Midge to perform when a guest star unexpectedly bails, saying staff cannot appear on the show. Susie is furious, while Midge's disappointment results in a lackluster second industrial show performance, angering Frankie and Nikki. Joel overhears them threatening Susie, causing worries about Midge's safety, and Susie realizes she's forever indebted to the 2 dangerous thugs. Sophie Lennon makes a surprise appearance on the Gordon Ford show, and as she is leaving, Susie runs into Gordon's wife, Hetty, revealing that years before they had a relationship which ended badly. So, this was a good, solid episode. The waste management play was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so
it's like,
funny.
There's no subtlety at all. It's like, hey, we're waste management. We'll take away what city trash won't haul away. And as an example, this one guy's like, I'm not paying $10 for you to haul this off. And the next thing you know, he's like, oh, my boy, he's dead. And he's carrying his kid in his arms, and there's a big fake nail sticking out of his fucking head. It's like, well, we'll take that away for you.
Just so. It was clearly, like, what I loved about it was the gag that it was clearly written by 2 mobsters who were, trying to, like, their entire goal was to get people to be okay with waste management as a private entity versus, paid by government. So that way they could do what they wanted with those dead bodies.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking clever. Whoever thought of that that's really clever. For writing purposes, not like, I'm not saying that the guys, I think that if you're going to murder people, you should own the business that disposes of the bodies secretly. I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
What was the next bit? Oh, well, I mean, Susie, like, I feel so bad for her because she was warned by Joel. She was warned multiple times by Joel.
Yeah.
And now how the fuck she's getting out of it? I think that this whole thing is going to be the thing that breaks Midge and Susie up.
You think it is?
I mean, I think it's going to get to the point where Midge is going to be successful enough that where she doesn't need Susie. and that Susie's going to need her.
I don't think that rift is going to develop until the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Because the only reason I'm asking, the only reason I'm alluding to that is because in the flash forward in episode 2 that she had on 60 Minutes, he mentioned that her friendship to Susie of 25 years was no longer. So if they met in 58, 25 years would have been 83.
Okay.
So maybe early 80s is when the split happened.
How many episodes is this season? 8?
9.
9. Boy, they got a lot to tell in fucking 5 more episodes.
Yep.
Because I won't be satisfied until I see, like, what I want to see in this show is I kind of want a take on Lucille Ball. Like, do you know her story?
Lucy?
Lucille Ball, Lucy.
Yeah, pretty much.
As she got older, after I Love Lucy went off the air, she had a really hard time finding work. Really hard time.
Wasn't it because she was difficult to work with?
She was difficult to work with because she was losing her mind. Because of stuff that had happened to her, like, towards the midlife of her life. I'm not getting that hint completely, but I want to see something similar to that, because we kind of saw that with that quick interview in episode 2, where she's really hard to fucking talk to because she just has this, like, she can't turn off that part of her brain.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to see. I love Midge. I really fucking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But much like with Sophie Loren and other characters like that, and a parallel to real life famous people from the 50s going into, the modern era, they have a really hard time adapting, and then their life kind of just is shitty and sad. It's weird to say I want to see that, but for narrative purposes, I think that's where this show needs to go. Do I think we need to see Midge's death? No, God, no. It's not necessary. Not for this show. But we need to see something in lieu of that, because I think it's going to be important to her character. So, but I think that's the other aspect that I think is important to the show too, is that we have so many characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Midge. We have Joel. We have, obviously, Joel
their
and Midge's
parents.
kids. We have both sides of their parents. We have
Susie.
And Susie. And then, I was like, there's another character. Those are our main, right? We have side characters. Who fuck cares? Like the mobster guys. They're hilarious. I love them, but,
Oh yeah.
But I want to see their outcomes. I want to see it. Like, I would love to have a flash forward of Susie.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna get that.
I think we are too.
But if this is the final season, they need to nail the landing. They really fucking do.
Yeah.
I've seen so many shows end their stuff, and it just doesn't stick that landing. Like, there's been a lot of sad in the show. There's been a lot of heart moments where you're scared for the characters or something to that effect. But the show's a comedy. It's lighthearted in nature. Don't make it not lighthearted. So, well, that's that's my opinion on that.
Well, what grade would you give this episode?
Oh, it's a solid A. I don't think it's an A plus. It feels like an in-between episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like we're driving down the road to our destination from our previous destination.
Gotcha.
Which is not bad.
Yeah. I was going to say an A as well. I mean, it was solidly entertaining. It's advancing the plot forward. The seeds have been planted for that rift, and it's just when that rift is going to actually occur. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do you think that Gordon Ford's going to be her second husband?
No.
No,
No.
I don't think.
I think they're going to have an affair, but not to the degree of second husband. I think one of two things is going to happen. Gordon is going to get a divorce, and then I think he's going to get a divorce, and then tell Midge, and then they're going to have their relationship, their very short relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw nothing into the future of like when that interview came about, and he's like listing off all this stuff about her. I didn't hear like anything about Gordon Ford. I didn't hear anything about certain characters. Like, and we've only seen Ethan and
Esther,
the daughter. Yeah, Esther, thank you. So no, I don't think so. Because what I feel like is going to happen is they're going to get in a relationship. He's going to push to have her do something that's going to make her incredibly popular. And then from that point, we're going to get something different. So, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me for them to get married.
Well, I think her career is not going to make a whole lot of sense. Her behavior and everything, which is why I was wondering if that's one of the 4 husbands and the 4 marriages that Mike Wallace mentions in that interview.
Oh, he does say 4. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Well, wouldn't he have said one of them being Gordon Ford? I feel like
not necessarily.
I think it's possible. I mean, I forgot that he said that. All right, like I said, they have a lot of story to tell in 5 episodes.
Yeah, they do. And I'd say the last episode is probably going to be about an hour and a half long.
No way. If not 2.
But, yeah, I'm curious to see how it all ends. I'm really enjoying the season, but I'm going to be sad to see it go. But, I just want them, like you said, I just want them to stick the landing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's wrap this puppy up. So, guys, again, Summer Movie Wager, send in your list so you get a prize. And keep in mind, it's also for fun. Like, it's just a good time, and you're always surprised about what actually makes the top 10. People have asked why not do their entire stint in the theater, because some movies stay longer than others. Every single movie gets at least an opening weekend,
Yeah. And plus, too, the ones that come out August 18th, they're not going to have a chance in hell of making the amount of movie that Guardians 3 has, or Transformers does, or Indiana Jones, so that's why it's only for the opening week.
Got to keep it even, Steven. But yeah, send in your list. Let's get that going. Next week, guys, we're going to be watching 2 different things. We're going to be watching Marvelous Miss Maisel, Season 5, Episode 5, or the final season, Episode 5, whatever. And Volume 2 of something I really fucking enjoyed, Star Wars Visions, which comes out actually this Friday. So did you watch Season 1, right, of that?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You should. It's a bunch of shorts. Think of like Liquid Television on MTV, or fucking Heavy Metal, that movie.
Yeah.
The shorts are about that long, 5 to 15 minutes long, and there's like 8 of them. but they're all non-canon. It's a bunch of anime studios, like Japanese people, Japanese animation people, basically creating their own little stories using Star Wars stuff, whether it be the Force, sci-fi, the races, lightsabers, whatever. Like one of the better stories in it is a samurai that uses a lightsaber, hidden in a village, and then being hunted down by a what kind of looks like an Inquisitor, but is not.
Okay.
It's good. Like, it's a lot of fun. Not every episode is going to be good, but that's the point of an anthology. So, but I highly recommend watching season 1. It was fun. But season 2 comes out Friday. So, and honestly, you can watch both seasons in the length of a movie, genuinely. So, but that's going to be on Disney Plus, obviously. But yeah, that's all we got for next week, everybody. Yeah. Make sure you follow us on all socials listed down below. That's also where you're going to want to send your list for the summer movie wager. And we'll try to keep you updated if we add anything. I don't think we will because, again, I am super fucking busy for a while. So I got to keep my reviews limited. Quite limited. That's why I did Star Wars Visions, because it's going to be like an hour to an hour and a half total.
Yeah.
And I can also space it out or watch it in between like those half an hour moments where I have to get the numbers from my dad's dialysis machine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, send us your list. All the links are down below. Check out our Teespring store. That link is also down below. You can get a t-shirt. Summer's coming around, and I know that they have tank tops on the site. Or just a t-shirt if you don't want to wear a tank top. But it'll have our cartoon faces on it and our logo. So people go, what the fuck's that? And you'd be like, oh, it's this podcast I listen to. It's dope. You should go check them out.
Absolutely.
Also, if you buy something, let us know. We'll give you a shout out. Give a little thank you. And all the proceeds go right into the podcast, making it as best as it possibly can be, paying for whatever services we need to utilize. That's it for my notes. Where can folks find you, Maya?
You can find me online on Facebook under my name, Maya Dawn Fisher. It's a public profile. It's linked to my Twitter and Instagram accounts. So it's your one-stop shop for everything I'm up to and the things that I find funny. Such as today I posted a meme of Jules and Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction set in Middle Ages, and basically saying, where is it? Here it is. The say what again? Say it's like, saith I beg thy pardon once more henceforth. I beseech ye, I twice beseech ye, layer of thy mother. Saith I beg thy pardon just one more Lord forsaken time.
Oh, so they Shakespeare'd it. Got it.
Yeah. And it's them holding crossbows.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking funny.
Oh, yeah. That's, y'all should go do that.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. What about you, Greg?
You can find me under Chubruck Geek under all socials. What'd you gonna
say? Yeah, I was saying, where can people find you?
Oh, it's cutting out a little bit. So, because SteamYard sucks right now. Chubruck Geek under all socials. This way you'll find me. I've been doing a little bit of streaming here and there and uploading clips as best I can. So, I'm gonna upload full streams onto my YouTube channel just so I can make clips off of it. So if you want to go check out those streams, that's where you do that. They're nothing that special. I'm really only using it to make the funny clips I can get, because since we're playing on Xbox, and Xbox only does up to 2-minute clips and no fucking voices from the party, it's harder to make clips than when I was on PlayStation. So, yeah. But that's it. That's it, guys. Again, and I can't reiterate enough, send us your list for the summer movie wager. You only have a week. But yeah, it's always a fun time. Yeah, and then in early September, I'll score everyone's list and we'll go from there. I'll probably be in Texas at that point too, so who knows? Guys, always remember, fuck the GOP, specifically right now.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me fucking started.
Right. Fuck the NRA. donate and help where you can. People are always hurting. There's always somebody in need of help out there, whether it be someone to talk to, donate money to, whatever you can. Go be a better person. And we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.